test. Morning, guys. Today
Hey,
we're gonna
morning.
see the finishing. Okay, we're currently showing on screen Team A. Team A is now driven by Ilham Halabi. But okay, and we see Matthew Palmer just coming into the Discord. Morning, Matt.
Good morning, everyone. Right now we are in the Team A Ferrari 488 GTB with Ilham Halabi driving, and it looks like everything is going quite well so far. He is currently in 13th position overall.
I think in class, 13 in class.
Yeah, sorry, 13 in class.
And let's go have a peek at Team B.
Team B right now, Kilvinder's behind the wheel, is he?
No, Zainal Hazim will be finishing. Will be in the final stint. He's in the Discord server.
Right.
Wanna have a talk to him?
Hi. Morning.
Morning. How have you guys gone through the night?
Was quite good. Very scary driving here at night. Feels like driving on Kara Highway or something. But hold on, let me take some corners.
Yeah, they're currently I think
16
in class.
Yeah.
It's only one class.
Yeah,
only one class.
Yeah, our split. We're quite fortunate to not have the other classes. LMP, HPD are all not here, so we don't have them trying to lap us every single lap. So it's been quite safe in that sense.
Yeah, so it's
Shami headed up to P14, I heard, and he had some computer issues. That was so unfortunate. But you guys managed to maintain up to now, P16.
Yeah, we're trying to maintain. Shami was very fast when he was driving, so it's okay lah. I think his pace made up for that one PC technical error.
right. So so far no problems with the car.
At the moment, no. Hold on,
Okay, focus on driving. This is your final stint. You don't want to mess up.
Yeah, we don't want to be the cause of your accident.
You just can hear us as a radio, TV, radio, and on your car radio lah.
Zainal boleh tengok dekat black box tu fuel tinggal berapa lap as soon as we cross the finish line. This lap.
So there we can hear the fuel calculations still going on. They want to make sure they can get to the end of the race.
13.2 sekarang. Estimated.
Okay.
So sekarang,
I think we better go to a different room.
we're gonna head off to another room so we can leave you guys in peace.
Alright, thanks guys. Sorry for that.
Later. Good luck.
No worries. Good luck.
Since we're not taking the audio, I think I'm gonna put some background music lah. Ding ding ding.
But yeah, it's so far. How far away are we to the end of the race?
I think less than an hour. Around 45 minutes more.
All right, so maybe one more lap, maybe one more stop if they have to. But we'll try not to.
Let me switch to Team A. Ilham will be replaced by Saiful for the final stint.
All right.
They did get up to P12 last night, but something happened, and now Ilham is trying his best to regain as much as possible.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of cars around him that are not He's not in the position to catch, but you never say never in endurance racing. It only finishes in the final lap. We've seen in the past with Toyota, very famously, failing to win the race at the final lap, which is it was a very shocking moment. But that's happened quite often throughout history. In fact, the last time Ferrari won as a full works entry, it was actually being beaten by a satellite team, the Ferrari Club of Belgium. And it was in the final 2 hours when the yellow William-Matrix-centered car burst its rear tyres quite dramatically on the Mulsanne straight, allowing the works car to go past. So anything can happen, really. So far, it looks like the Ferrari is in one piece, roughly.
Good.
Yeah.
No handling issues.
Yeah, everything looks good. I'm in there, morning all. How Team A doing? Team A is now in 13th position in class, and it's looking like it's going to hopefully at least stay that way. He's trying his hardest to get back up into the top 12, but it looks like it's going to be a bit tricky. We'll have to see how the race goes on, but yeah. Meanwhile, Mohammed, how's your race been?
Let's peek at his team.
Because I believe when we last left, Mohammed was on our last broadcast. Mohammed was driving the Team B car, and we had quite a nice broadcast over the night.
So we're currently with Team B, Mohammed's team.
As you can see in the 16th position so far, which is not bad considering I believe there's 55 starters in the race, so definitely in the top third, the top quarter of the grid for both teams, which is looking very good indeed.
That guy almost lost it, guys.
This is going to be, in a lot of ways, one of the hardest parts of the race. Suddenly the car is going to feel very loose and terrible. The drivers themselves will feel a little bit loose and terrible. Every single noise you hear through the sim is going to just make you think it's going to explode at any moment. Things will sound like they're rattling. The tensions will be high. Because again, at Le Mans, unlike a lot of other races, you have to cross the finish line in order to be classified as a finisher. So it's very, very important to actually complete the final lap. But yeah, very interesting so far. See there, we're catching up with some cars in front. I don't know, are they on the same lap?
No. From my view here, I can see Zaino is with some traffic with number 21 in front of him.
All right.
And
So he's just coming up to lap traffic right now.
lap traffic number 21 and 29 behind him, in front of him.
Yeah.
So they should have given him a pass by right?
Well, in endurance racing, it's a little bit trickier than that because it is distance, not time.
Yeah.
So it is possible to unlap yourself. You're allowed to do that in endurance racing.
What if you're followed by P17 very closely behind?
Well, if you have the pace to overtake them, they shouldn't defend. But on the other hand, it is quite common for in endurance racing for a car that is a few laps ahead to literally stay behind and wait for either pit stop or even just to stay behind in the draft and try and save fuel.
What are these guys doing?
So it's a little bit different from sprint races where you have to give way and you have to basically pull aside and let the guy through.
Down, there are a few laps down.
In endurance racing, it's all about the distance covered over time. So
we're just staying in each other's
naturally, there will be,
helping us in the
especially in a race like this, where I think Pretty much everyone is at least a lap behind the leader by now.
Okay, Matt. Okay, I'm turning on Zaino's audio. So if you see him talking, you can just let him give him some space.
3, fuel
Alright.
map pun 3.
So we're listening to the radio broadcast right now.
On your left. Hold your line.
Okay.
Clear left.
Nanti aku
You guys at
cross
home
the
will be
line
able to-
baru aku update you.
They're just
You guys-
updating on positions.
Yeah. You guys will be able to hear the constant radio communication that's required to successfully pull off competing in a race like this. I'm in the Team B doing good. We were able to reach P13 before the driver had a PC crash. The game froze up on him, so that would have been a tow back to the pits. A little bit unfortunate, but just like in real life, technical issues
Sekarang
are always
11.2
a worry in
aku akan
endurance
try
racing.
buat
We are pushing
satu-
cars to the limit.
Nombor 1 boost map dengan turbo dengan engine map.
Alright.
Yeah, they're now sorting themselves out for perhaps a pit stop. So yeah, right up to the top 10. That's sort of a good achievement in and of itself to get through into the halfway point of the race in a good position.
I failed to get myself roti canai this morning.
Oh dear.
I snoozed a bit long.
So did I, to be honest, because after we got off, instead of doing the sensible thing of getting any sort of sleep, it was straight onto Broadband stream and straight onto a few other sim racer streams for a couple of hours, just to keep track of everything, and had a bit of a nap, 4 hours long. Did I get breakfast? Nope.
Let's have a look on Team A.
11.0 sekarang.
The track temperature's
10.9.
rising. It's now 36
So
Celsius.
yeah, they're still maintaining 13th position. It looks like they might, if everything goes to plan, stay that way. And right now it's Ilham Halabi in the car.
He'll be changing anytime soon to Saiful
Yep.
Arifin.
You can see the black box. That's the nickname for the little controls they put down there to control the pit stops. You can either use the iRacing one or the crew chief vocalized one, vocal control one. But he's just got the menu up there. He's going to set the car up and. Oh,
Yeah, Ilham is kind of singing
Yeah.
around, so just
He-
mind the.
it's all right. So now he's into the
changes.
pits.
Blue flag.
So now he's
He's
into the pits. He had the black box up. He just adjusting the fuel and the pit stops and everything else.
We haven't got that data.
And I believe it's Saiful Arifin coming in to the car at this stop.
Yeah.
So we'll see a change of driver. There's a required repair as well. So they'll have to do it in order to come in. The black flags here in Le Mans or in any other endurance race are a little bit different to sprint races.
Now,
Oh, we got some
Basically,
voice.
it's up to you
Let's
whether.
hear what they're having a talk on.
Yeah.
Just maybe basic
Ada
communication.
damage apa ke? Optional repair?
Yeah, Ilham will be trying to give as much information as he can to Saiful so that he can.
Okay, Saiful is on VR, so you'll
right.
have first-hand experience on immersion.
1%
Yeah.
buy.
We've got the full VR experience directly from Saiful Arifin there.
1% tire, eh? See that?
Hmm. They're really using the tyres to the limits. I think they might have triple stinted or even quadruple stinted just to save enough time on track. But it's a required repair, black flag. And basically what that means is that in a sprint race, if you are black flagged, generally speaking, you come into the pits and you park the car, your race is done. But in endurance racing,
So next time untuk malam
any and
aku
all
rasa
repairs are up
boleh
to the
untuk
discretion of the team. However, if there's a safety issue, the stewards may require you to come in
blue flag.
on that lap to fix the car. Fix especially the problem that is causing a safety issue out there. So a black flag doesn't mean the end of the race. It just means that they have to come in to fix something. So there may have been a bit of body work, or perhaps that 1% tire has blown
There's a
or shown
faster car
canvas.
approaching.
If there's any damage to the body panels or to lighting. So now you see the very unique blue flag used in endurance racing. That's a caution flag, blue with a yellow stripe through it. That's a class-based flag to let you know that there is a car that is naturally faster behind you, i.e. a car in the faster class. So yeah, like I was saying with the blue flags, it's a bit unique in endurance racing because you can unlap yourself, it's perfectly fine. You can be several laps down and just start unlapping everyone. And you can even get to the point where a driver from a lap ahead of you might get the blue flag because you're closing on them quite quickly. Again, there's a lot of reasons for that. The varying amounts of time that the cars are spending in the pits compared to their pace out on the track means that they might be a few laps behind from what their true pace is. Or consequently you have a team that's been doing quite well but they're actually quite slow on track. They've just managed to stick to their game plan and they managed to finish much higher up. It sort of pertains to the whole attitude in endurance racing that you've got to have. You have to keep the car out there for as long as you can, and you can never ever give up. So now Cypher is finished just setting the relatives up. We've got the nice little overlay there just to show his
Okay, John. So that's the class car approaching.
speed and revs and gears. You can see the same information on the dashboard there as well. All cars using basically the same dashboard setup with Bosch Motorsports TFT display. See that he's climbing up to
Blue flag.
270 kilometers an hour coming into Indianapolis. And for reference, the prototypes, if they're going absolutely flat out, will be reaching somewhere in the region of 330 kilometers an hour at the end of that. Maybe even more. So now we've got a car behind, just got to let him pass. The tricky part about the LMP2 cars is that in a straight line they're not necessarily that much quicker at the top end. They have roughly similar top speeds. They accelerate a lot harder because they're lighter, and obviously they're much quicker through the corners because they have more aero. But they have to be a little bit more discerning when it comes to where they can lap the slower GT cars. So right now, being caught in the Porsche curves with the blue flag waving, he's got to really watch out. There's another prototype car behind. One of the innovations they brought into Le Mans is that they've required all the teams to have the rear view cameras installed, so they'll be able to see the cars behind.
Don't want a penalty.
So there you can see the black flag for cutting the corner just to give the space.
We got info from Cypher saying he's got a flat. I don't know whether that was before tire change.
Well, it looks to be going quite quickly. We'll see when he gets onto the Mulsanne straight, but if he's got a flat, it means that realistically he's in the worst possible position to get that done. Yeah, he's going through the tires and the information there.
Yeah, maybe the one that I saw 1% was due to the flat.
Yeah. So it was sort of lucky. The problem with Le Mans is that because it's such a long track, there are actually places where you can get a flat tire and you don't lose too much time, maybe a minute or two in comparison to others. But if you say have a puncture here, you've got the majority of the lap to go. You have to drive 10 kilometers on the flat, and generally that's the difference between just coming in for a pit stop to replace the tire or having to pull in for much longer repairs. to the suspension and to the braking system.
Alright, John,
Again,
there's a
we've got
faster
that
car
little
approaching.
special warning. There's a car from a different class behind him. In endurance racing, there's also another regulation that's a little bit different. In that traditionally at Le Mans, the GT cars hold their line and the LMP cars have to find their way around. And this is because purely because the GT cars just aren't as reactive as the prototypes. We've seen some of the crazy passing maneuvers that the prototypes have been pulling off on these GT cars. That's just because they have much higher limit of adhesion and much faster reacting. They change direction much quicker than the GT cars. So generally speaking, during the briefing, unless it is convenient and safe, say if you're going to the Porsche curves or Maison Blanche or the Dunlop curves, you really have to make sure that you hold your line and not move, whether you're going through on the outside line or the inside line. Sort of make sure you're as predictable as possible, and let the prototypes find a way around you. Ajil Hafiz there, go, go, go. We have support from all the other members as well of the SRA community. It's not just the drivers you've seen on streams so far in the Le Mans 24 hours, but also all the other sprint drivers, the MX-5 guys, the iRacing Malaysia Championship guys, also fully behind these endurance racing teams that we've managed to bring in from Malaysia. So I believe there's 2 SRE endurance teams and a couple of others that are...
Yeah, we also got CMR Garage team and one team by Wicked Low and Daichi.
Yeah.
They're all on different splits.
Yeah. It's amazing because usually when you send in 4 or 5 cars, you're bound to have at least 2 of them end up in the same split. Maybe they're on to us now.
So the most that we can do is cover these 2 teams. I'm not even being confident to cover more than 2.
Yeah, it can be very difficult, especially as we've only had a limited sort of showing here. We haven't done the full 24 hours. Over the course of 24 hours, it would perhaps be a little bit easier to do that. But yeah.
From the overlays, I can see there are remaining less than 30 minutes to race finish. So as soon as the first car crosses the finish line in other categories, classes, so they will be automatically starting their last lap also, right?
Yes. So the checker flag will fall if there are big gaps. Traditionally at Le Mans, if there are no battles for the lead in any class, the final lap is pretty much taken slowly. It's not an actual yellow flag lap, but you will see the marshals on the side of the road as if it was a cool-down lap. You'll generally see the cars trying to line up for a formation finish. They'll be trying to set things like that up, and there'll be crowds gathering at the finish line. You tend to cross the finish line very, very slowly indeed. It's sort of more of a ceremonial thing for the last half of the lap. And that's if there's no battles right to the end. But yeah, as soon as the lead car crosses the line,
okay, you can see here a prototype just going.
Yeah. Yeah. The LMP1 cars are so much faster than virtually anything else. The only thing comparable really is a Formula 1 car. And as Porsche have proven with their 919 Evolution, that if you take the air restrictors off the car and you extend the front splitters to its maximum extent, these LMP1 cars can lap tracks such as Spa, the Nürburgring Formula 1 track, faster than a Formula 1 car. They generate more downforce, they have more horsepower, unrestricted, and they also
Okay,
have
John.
a lot more technology behind them than a Formula 1 car. Things like traction control and adaptive differentials and things like that. So really, they are the pinnacle of motorsports engineering in terms of the technology levels.
You can see the marker there on the top left. Just now there was a blue flag.
Yep.
And the crew chief was saying car approaching. So
Yes.
crew chief does a big role if you're not alert in the relative box down there.
Yeah. I mean, luckily in iRacing you do have the automated spotter system as well.
Yeah.
So crew chief replaces that, and it basically turns into a spotter and a ability to use voice commands to control pit stops and the like. So the famous meme in iRacing is that you've got the Australian spotter. Anybody who's done a lot of watching of people like Jimmy Broadbent, a few of the other guys, you know, it's a very popular thing, the standard Australian spotter and the standard American spotter. But basically their jobs will be to try and keep the driver informed. This is the same job that would be done in real life by the pit wall. So you have a chief engineer, a team manager, and a point man for each car to make sure that the drivers are kept informed of what's around them. Spatial awareness being absolutely critical in successfully completing the 24-hour Le Mans. And just making sure you're in a very smooth and safe place. Macam there, the bike guys, speed 40, Malaysia bukan kelegalan. Yeah, betul Macil. I wonder where he's at. He's back in his hometown, isn't he?
Jelebu. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's out about for breakfast first before heading back, and he'll be joining tonight's race. I hope he enters the server with no issues, because towards the server start, I think the 9 p.m. Le Mans is still on.
So we might be a little bit worried about that as well. But for those of you who are still excited about sim racing after the end of this broadcast, we do have one more lined up for you. The Adrenaline Impact iRacing Malaysia Championship will be held at Okayama Circuit. Coincidentally, one of only 3 ex-Formula 1 venues in Japan. Well, one of them is still a Formula 1 venue in Suzuka. And we've had Michael as a very useful commentator on some of the broadcasts. He's a real-life driver in the Malaysian Speed Festival and Malaysian Championship Series. Very, very quick touring car driver, and he's also been getting into sim racing a lot lately, so you'll be able to see him and a lot of other drivers in that upcoming race. The servers open at 9. Our broadcast will start around 9:30 as per usual. The qualifying and racing starts at 10 o'clock, so do stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact for more information on that. Meanwhile,
we're nearing the 38-minute mark, so should have less than 22 minutes to go.
Yeah, this is where the nerves really get to you. You have to just sit there and be focused and almost not look at the clock. And it's the Le Mans jitters. So you switch over to Team B, and they're still holding position in 16th. It looks like it's going to be a good race for everyone. What was it, P13, P12 for the Team A? I didn't catch
Mohammed said it was up to P10 last night.
Yeah.
And they lost the position due to one of the drivers having a PC crash.
Yeah.
I think Syami Azmi was driving, and he was using a laptop because he was outstation, I think, and he was very eager to join. That's a very good thing to do to support the team.
Yeah. I mean, the great part is, unlike at Le Mans where you're limited to 3 drivers, you are allowed to take more on. iRacing has sort of taken the American side of that equation. In races in America, like the Daytona 24 hours and the Sebring 12 hours, you're allowed to have multiple drivers, up to 6, I believe.
In iRacing,
So-
the teams are registered
On the same
maximum
lap
up
as the
to
guy in front of
16.
us and also the guy behind
Up to
us.
16, yes.
Mm.
And that just enables, you know, everybody to have a turn. And yeah, similar to like the 25 hours of Thunderhill, I keep forgetting that. They added an extra hour just to be special. And that race is, in real life, is also pretty much open. You can change the driver each stint. In Malaysia, we used to have the Sepang 12 hours, and occasionally we get a round of the K-Car Endurance Championship. Looks like Mohamed's slowing down there on the pit straight.
Right now, Zainul Hazim's driving until you finish.
Yep, it looks like he was going a little bit slower through there.
Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate
I think he's maximized his tires already.
Right, so he'll be thinking of whether to come in for pits for new tyres or just to try and cruise to the end. The key will be how far back his nearest rival is. But it looks like they're pretty secure in 16th position, which is a fantastic result, considering, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the guys in Team B are fairly new to the endurance game. This was the last minute entry from SRE. We had Team A lined up to try and take on the top split, and Team B was sort of an option for anybody who was willing to jump into the car and give it a go, and that sort of coalesced into having a fairly decent team out there. We were with Team B through the early part of the night, or through the graveyard shift, as it's known for the drivers, in the early mornings, and had quite a bit of fun raising the spirits and morale over there throughout the night. But I mean, the main thing is, this really highlights how accessible iRacing is to try these sort of events.
Okay,
I mean, it is a very good idea if you are going to get into endurance racing in real life to jump onto iRacing and try a few endurance races there, because you really get to know the team aspects and the strategy aspect of endurance racing quite well indeed.
Okay, 5 lap lebih lagi.
Right now it's
okay.
AE Racing
5.5.
first, Sim Racing second, and Green EV in third. So those top three have been pretty much the same all night. The fake Porsche team, I think, is missing, or further down the order than they usually are. But yeah, right now it's all about consolidating position, making sure to not lose too much time and keep the car on the road. You'll see the Delta marker on the top, just underneath the rear view mirror, and that is a little tool that drivers can have to try and keep the lap times as
Okay, kita try saving sikit lah.
consistent as possible. It's not necessarily about trying to do the fastest lap all the time, but it is about trying to keep that pace consistent. It looks like they're really saving the car through here. 404s. We've had Kilvinda do some fantastic monster stints in the car, all under 4 minutes lap times. I think, yeah, right now they're just trying to conserve the car just a little bit.
Okay, faham.
Got
Ingat nak kejar depan.
less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it's again, the nerves are racking. You barely have the concentration to just keep the car on the road. It's 4 p.m. Le Mans time, the traditional finish time at Le Mans.
According to the clocks, it's 2:23.
Yeah. So
And the temperatures now there is I cannot see the track temperature is now 36.
yeah, so it's warmed up and it's now just coming into the phase where it'll start to cool down again. Yeah. So I guess the 9 p.m. guys will get the 4 o'clock start and finish, which is the traditional start time for Le Mans. It's always been 4 o'clock,
All right, Zai,
except in
15
years
minutes
when
left,
they've had
that's
to
15
move it.
minutes.
Most recently during the French presidential election, the one which was won by Emmanuel Macron. That was held on the same date as Le Mans, so the organisers decided to delay the race by 3 hours.
Let's go back to Team A. They are having the blue flag for overtake.
So yeah. So far, I think we see the gaps there. 3 minutes 59 seconds behind. So Flat Spot Racing, the car behind, is almost a full lap behind. VDR team Milo is perhaps the same sort of distance ahead. It looks like they're on for a 13th place finish. This is going to be quite an achievement to get both cars well up in the top of their splits. Because, like I was saying with these splits, I think there were 55 cars in each split, or 55 teams, and to be in the top 20 is quite an achievement in and of itself. Especially to the Team A car, which we're riding on board now, the Ferrari 488 GT GTE car. Cypher now on board, and just whiling away the laps, the corners, counting down the minutes. We've got 15 minutes to go, 14 minutes to go before the end of the race. And yeah. So I believe the times would be slightly different for both streams.
I think there was only a few seconds, around 20 seconds difference. This is maybe to with a few factors. Whoa! What happened to Sheffield? Come on! Get on track. Get on track.
Good grief! That was so close to being a very big accident. He just about grazed the wall there. That was.
He got a 1x off track incident points. It's a maximum of 100, and they are now up to 50 points incidents. So
yeah,
that should be good.
It's been a fairly incident-free race for them. Trust me, 50 points is not that bad. It's when you start getting penalties, that's when you know you're starting to get bad in endurance races. But it just looks like he misjudged the braking into Mulsanne corner, and it looks like the back end of that car is not stable at all. There's something wrong with that car. So now the critical thing is he's just going through the setup. He'll be adjusting the brake bias to try and get the car to work a little bit better. This is nerve-wracking stuff. 2 incidents on the same lap. We're gonna have to try and calm down now. Try not to push the car too much.
Less than 13 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, less than 13 minutes to go before the end of the race. So they've only got
3 laps.
3 or 4 laps. Yeah. But yeah, the real critical thing right now is to try and get the cars to the finish. They're in a position where they're safe. They have basically pretty much, knock on wood, clinched the 13th position for Team A in their class. And Team B was 16th, I believe, for those of you wondering. Yeah, it looks like the balance of the car is a little bit out. It's inevitable, but at the end of the race, the car is starting to get a bit worn out. The tires are getting worn out. The brakes are not as good as they were at the start. In fact, quite often during endurance races, there'll be somewhere between 3 and 4 services for the brakes. So they get new brake pads, and in the case of carbon ceramic brakes, they'll get new discs and pads as well. They're keyed, which means the pads have to run on that particular disc. They come as a set. And that has to also be accounted for when it comes to endurance racing. But the excitement's building up. We have about 11 minutes left to go before the end of the race. SRE team in 13th position. Cypher Orphan's on board right now. All they've got to do is cruise and keep the car off the wall. It was a really scary moment there for Cypher Orphan when he slid off and basically just about grazed the wall at the end of Mulsanne corner. Now it's all about concentration, trying to keep the focus up as high as they can. Cypher Orphan there being helped somewhat by the VR. He's able to look around, try and break that tunnel vision that can be so dangerous in endurance racing, where you end up just staring right through the middle of the screen, and you sort of get lulled into this sort of rhythm, and you sort of have to break that once in a while. You have to sort of try and look around and check your mirrors and make sure you're safe in traffic. So now we've got another LMP1 car. You're going to see this car accelerate out, deploying over 1,000 horsepower combined in short bursts, just to get the overtaking done. So these hybrid LMP1 cars are amazing. They've got internal combustion engines that fit into different categories, but the regulations state that the cars have about 1,000 horsepower and the ability to deploy four-wheel drive. So they have an electric four-wheel drive system in these cars. The front axle is connected via electric motors to the batteries, as well as the rear axle. Alongside that you have the internal combustion unit. Meanwhile, we go on board with the Team B car. They're still maintaining 16th position. They're letting one of the quicker BMWs past. So now, for these last 3 or so laps, the real challenge is just to keep the cars going. The other thing you'll often find as well in Le Mans is that the front runners, if they're a lap or so ahead, they will try and reduce the amount of laps for everyone else. So if they see that they are within seconds or minute or even a minute of crossing the line and starting yet another lap, when the checker flag goes down, they'll oftentimes wait for the checker flag to come down by driving slowly through the final section. And once the checker flag is down, then they will drive on to the finish of the race, just to avoid one more lap's worth of wear and tear, not only for themselves but for the entire field of cars. So generally, the end of a endurance race, you'll see the leaders slow down quite a bit to try and... Ooh, he's just outbraked himself there a little bit.
Same place where...
Yeah. Mulsanne corner, the same sort of incident. You can see that he wasn't too happy with himself there, but that's okay. It's all about focus right now.
2.9 sekarang full.
Trying to keep the focus high.
Dino says he has 2.9 laps of fuel left.
100x disqualified.
Right, he might have to come in for a splash and dash then. As we see, how many minutes are there left? 53.
It's on the 53-minute mark now.
So
He
might
minutes
be.
to get, I think, at least 3 laps.
If he, well, that's the thing, because the front runners, like I was saying, can back off, and these guys can also back off in order to save themselves from having to do another lap.
They have, I think they have quite a quite good gap between the positions.
Yeah, so it looks like they might be able to lift and coast and really start to conserve fuel now. I wouldn't even worry about lifting and coasting and late braking. Sections like this, S2 cutting and the Porsche curves, you can really back off there, use no throttle at all to them. At this point you want to slow your pace down, cruise, try and save as much fuel. You want to avoid having to do that final pit stop. So coming up now, we're at 54 minutes, so it looks like the drivers in the lead might have to be forced to take another lap, and they do mean forced. They do try and avoid making one extra lap here at Le Mans, especially if the leaders are.
Just hear a bit on the
Alright,
event
Tom,
radio.
5 minutes to go. 5
Yep.
minutes left.
Good racing, bros. No LMP cars. That's the best part. We're all winners today.
On your right. Clear right.
Got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Okay, nice.
See, you say we're all winners, but your second engine didn't just explode at the line with 6 minutes left.
InsyaAllah
This
dia
car
nak
is hurt.
Yeah, they're all giving motivations and among themselves.
Yep. It's needed now more than ever because if you lose sort of concentration, if you lose that will and determination, it's very, very easy to find yourself in the barriers. And like I said, even if it's on the last lap, if you do not cross the line at Le Mans, you do not finish. You have to cross the start-finish line. You have to meet the check flag. So that is the challenge with endurance racing. And if you're wondering, it's the principle is that any cars that are running, once the at the start of the final lap, should be able to complete that final lap and finish.
2.2 minyak.
But
So
that is the principle here at Le Mans. So it's very, very important to make sure the car goes all the way.
map je lah kan.
Now they'll be looking at. Ideally, what they want to do is try and look at where the leaders are in relation to themselves and see when they are starting the last lap. And also try and look at the fuel consumption and really drive that number down.
I'm backing off, guys.
So
so
some
be one
tense
lap
stuff here.
left, or you need the extra lap for your position. Okay.
Crawling around through Mulsanne. One of the things the drivers can do to save fuel is to lift and coast. As we see there, Calvin Ha, well done guys. Thanks, Calvin.
Now keep pushing. Make
We're hoping these guys will be able to make it to the end on the fuel they have now. They're a little bit low on fuel. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they can afford to come in and put enough fuel for just the extra final lap if they really, really have to. They will want to try and avoid that because that's just extra time lost in the pits. And also, when you do go into the pits, you do have the danger of the car behind possibly unlapping himself or possibly even gaining positions. Although in this case, I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem.
That's 2 minutes left. 2
So
minutes.
the guys behind Seattle iRacing Community have another community-based team, just like Sim Racing Endurance. Been looking at some of their stuff as well. Magnanimous Racing ahead. It really is a case of just trying to get the car to the finish at this point, using as little throttle as they need.
Well done, everybody. Thank you for a great race.
The high really on the fuel.
Akan coasting.
And congratulations to everyone for being not dead.
Hopefully ni this is the final lap.
Okay, Zainal said this might be the final lap after this.
Kalau tak cukup minyak.
Right, so do you think they'll be able to save the
Tak
fuel?
keluar lagi ni white flag.
They're waiting for the white flag
Right.
because
Tapi dia tulis tadi time
Very
limit
little
2
fuel
minit.
left.
the race leaders are not finished yet because there's 1 minute to go.
Yes.
So anytime now it will be turned in this lap to a final lap. Is it like
Yeah.
that?
Well, basically, once the race leader crosses and starts their final lap, as soon as the race the race winner crosses the finish line, every other car behind him will start to finish the race
Thanks for the follow, Baptiste.
on that lap.
Welcome to the stream. Aku naikkan
So if
engine
the
map semua ke max
race
lah.
leaders are going to start a lap now with 1 minute to go, this would be the final lap. but they'll have to make sure that the race leader passes them. It depends on where they are on the track, of course,
Top speed jadi 230.
because it's a distance equation.
Banyak kan costing.
Right now, it looks like they might have enough fuel to do 1, maybe 2 more laps if they really slow down for the final lap.
Engine memang limit je ni.
Sekarang berapa?
Now you can see there,
1.3.
As you
Zai is
said, they're
just-
on limits now, so they on limited reset,
Limited
so
fuel.
they are saving the engine, I think, and fuel.
yep, they're now trying to save the fuel as much as they can. Estimated laps 1.3. They want to make sure that I think that might have been the leader. I'm not too sure. I know the leader's a
The
Porsche.
leaders are just behind him.
Slow sangat
Right.
ni.
So what Zainal has to do now is to let the leaders pass to ensure that he finishes behind the leaders,
Driving damn slow now.
because otherwise he'll be forced to do another lap. It's a distance-based equation. That means the race isn't over until the race leaders finished the race.
That's why he's slowing down.
Yeah. So that's why he's cruising right now at 200 kilometers an hour as opposed to the normal cruising speed of a Ferrari, 260, 270 down there. He's really slowed the car down just to give the leaders a chance
Patut
to
masuk a pit.
try and overtake. They're not allowed to stop on the final lap. You will get a penalty on that in the real race, so they'll be crawling.
Quick glance to Team A. They're on the 1 more lap.
Right, so they two are on the white flag lap. They've just started another lap. That's the kind of thing you want to try and avoid, but I think flat spot racing is a little bit too close to try and risk minimizing that final lap. And I think they're good for fuel. And they'll be heading into the checker flag. So nerve-wracking stuff there from our B car in the 5th split.
Aku sumpah tak tahu tu.
In 16th position again.
Okay, they're letting the leaders pass.
Clear right.
There we go. That
leader.
means that they don't have to do another lap. That means they're safe. All they have to do is follow the leader home, and they will have finished
Oh, dia ikut time limit.
Le Mans
Betul lah.
24-hour race.
Alhamdulillah.
Through the Porsche curves.
Sekarang ni last aku rasa.
Almost a crawl for these guys. Again, they are trying their hardest to just make sure they get through to the end. S Ducati, they can see the finish line now. They've got
Yes.
4.5 liters to go. They can go flat out if they want to. They've made it.
Hey.
So congratulations to the SRE Team B for finishing Le Mans. Very good position in 16th.
Wey.
Congratulations, guys.
Hey, bangga.
Rolling across the line.
Thank you all for racing, guys.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, guys.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Jami.
background.
Are they really finished?
Minyak tinggal 0.9.
Yep, that's it.
So kalau patutnya boleh.
They are done. Congratulations to Zai for
Okay,
for
let's
getting
move
the car.
to Team A. Team A.
You did great.
So now Team A is on the run up to Indianapolis. Again, they are comfortable in 13th position. They have a slightly easier time. They know they have enough fuel. All they have to do is get the car home. So he said there, Calvin Ha, bravo to the B team. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Ilham Halabi, congratulations, guys. Calvin, congratulations. Fantastic stuff there from Team B. Congratulations. Calvin Ha, party SRE. Fantastic. And now all that remains is for Team A.
Okay, I want to change rooms to the guys at Team B so we can have a chat with them while we.
Kenapa?
Hi guys, congrats.
Tak kalau
Thanks.
Jom kita tengok Ipin jom.
Congratulations, guys.
Oh, itu tak big ya?
Ipin sikit lagi ni.
Fantastic driving last lap too. Memang
Oh.
tactics perfect.
Oh, you guys were watching
Yes.
We had to play with the engine map and turbo map the whole last stint.
Yeah.
So I was trying to save up fuel because Shami and I we weren't sure whether we
Yeah.
needed to do the last lap or not.
Yeah. And now we're just watching Saiforifin come across the line to take the number 13 SRE Team A car.
There we go, it's over.
Nice.
They're 13th in class, so that's a fantastic result for them. But yeah, it was a fantastic move to try and get the leaders to pass you on the last lap, just to make sure that you don't have to do another lap, because otherwise I think you'd have to get out the car and push.
I wasn't even thinking of that.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was the plan.
It was the accidental plan, but it was the plan.
It worked. Thanks for the support, guys. That was awesome. Although we didn't have much battles, it was fun.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys managed to finish in the top 20, which is a fantastic result. Well into the top half of the field. And yeah, it's very, very good. Very good result for both SRE drivers. I can see the relief on Zai's face there.
Yeah. I'm just smiling. I'm not even moving the car right now. I don't know. This is...
You've outlasted most of the opposition there. That's fantastic stuff there. Saiforifin doesn't really know what he's doing with himself right now. He's not too sure whether to start a donut or just cruise to the finish. Hi guys. Pro Touch Tuner, aka Ajib Contract. So how do you guys feel now?
For me, I just feel massive relief right now.
Yeah.
Because that was the last stint, right? So
Yeah.
the fuel thing really put it really made it a bit hairy lah. But yeah, now just massive relief and happy that we actually managed to get through without any major repairs. Only one repair needed more than 5 minutes, and the others were all smooth sailing. So really good experience for me. I think for Shami, first time I think for him, or I'm not too sure. But yeah, everybody had a good experience now, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a sort of, like I was saying, the team was sort of put together quite late on in the process of entering the 24-hour Le Mans. So for a last minute effort to do this well is quite good.
We didn't even have a schedule. We were just winging it. Like whoever wanted to go in the car, let us know. Let the driver before know, and just get in. No schedule, no plans, no nothing. Just going on the fly. So
it's a true communal car then.
yeah, exactly. This is like grab share or something.
That might be an idea for a team name for the next time.
Grab share.
The SRE community broom. Anybody who needs it takes it.
Can you guys check on the progress of Wicked, Low, and Taichi? Because those guys, I think they ran a 2 or 3 man race, and they're also quite new to iRacing, so I hope they did well.
Let me try to find.
We'll try and look. We'll try and look for this.
Yeah, GT Sport, old timers, right? Those guys. So let's see how well they can do.
Yeah, Taichi's gone through a bit of an experience through these last few months, going from GT Sports to iRacing to rallying to goodness knows what else.
Yeah. Same goes with Wicked. They're both they're really trying their hand in everything. Respect. I can't find enough time to concentrate on iRacing. So
and they've managed to find the time to concentrate on everything.
Exactly. And on top of that, balance work, and family
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah,
Respect.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean the other thing as well, trying to do Le Mans with only 2 or 3 drivers in a sim is quite tricky.
Yeah, requires a great deal of planning
kind of
and
hope.
Yeah.
dedication from these guys. I think they probably would sleep a lot today. You know,
Yeah.
trying to catch up on that rest.
Here's hoping that both of them will be okay for the race this evening, but you can understand if they they missed their entrance.
I'm looking at
Thought about that MX-5 race.
I'm looking at Wicked's punya Sony Kazu punya stream, but that I don't have any info on what position they finish in.
Alright, so they managed to finish, I
Yeah,
guess?
they finished. Checkered flag.
Well, that's fantastic news just to be able to
Check
finish.
Tai Chi stream. Afif.
Oh, Tai Chi also ada stream eh?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think just now he was driving, then he was streaming.
What was his finishing position?
Tadi the last I checked, they were top 20 also. I think they were actually doing quite well, and they're in a higher split than us actually. So they got better competition around them. I think they got LMP cars and all that also.
So
yeah.
that even raises the difficulty level up like several fold. The fact that you've got to deal with LMP cars and the HPD cars, only having two main drivers. I'm not sure if they ever had a third driver in that team, but that's some pretty spectacular stuff.
Yeah,
I wanna get Ipin inside.
Yeah, thanks to the support.
Yeah, get Ipin and all of them to come interview.
Yeah.
Come into the B team, the fun room.
Yeah, B team.
Fun room, huh?
Yeah.
Really, guys, thanks for the support. Really, grateful for all of that.
Well, thanks for letting us into this world and letting us tag along in backseat drive.
Next endurance, you guys should just join in.
Oh, Tai Chi said SR rating naik naik banyak Zainal, berapa naik? Berapa SR rating you naik?
No, I'm still driving around the track.
You're just soaking it all in.
I'm doing the victory lap as if it's like realistic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in the pits and stop the car.
I mean, uniquely in the Mans, they don't do a victory lap, because if they're not fighting for the lead, they will treat the last lap as a victory lap to save the cars, because usually they'll finish on fumes with the car just about worn out. They try and save themselves from doing the last lap. So I was commentating just now. It's like, yeah, these guys are quite smart. They're actually saving themselves from trying to do another lap. They're letting the leaders go past and do all the rest of that stuff. It's like, oh, it's quite impressive.
That actually worked. Actually, we didn't need to do that last lap after the white flag.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my plan, I have to be honest. The plan was to just save up fuel as much as possible.
Yeah.
So it so happened that the leaders were trying to get.
Yeah. So we have Farid on the line as well. Amir Farid. Hi, apa khabar?
Hey, congrats, Team A, congrats.
Thank you so much, guys. Well done to Team A, Team B for the 24-hour Le Mans. 24 hours. Wow. That's a very great race.
So what was going through your mind when it comes to those final few laps?
Again?
You haven't chewed your fingernails off too much, I hope.
Yeah, a little bit, because the last 10 runs run by Saiful Arifin, which is he drives significantly awesome. So he managed to finish the race. Yes, he did.
So yeah, that's.
Our car is a little bit. We suffer a little bit of aerodynamic damage, which is happened on previous stint. So, but we managed to finish the race. That's the main important thing, that we bring the car home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked at a couple of moments there in the final laps that Saiful was having some serious issues with the car. He even overshot the Mulsanne corner and just brushed up against the wall. That was a hard-and-mouth moment for me, and I'm just watching. What must have been like for yourself and all the other drivers?
Well, we we pray that the car did not suffer too much damage, but yeah, Saifu actually did a very good job to handle to do the recovery, and that's good for us. At least we finished the race at P13, which is a very good improvement for us.
Yeah, considering there's 55 cars that started the first split, 13th position is not bad at all. Definitely in the top half, definitely in the top third of the field.
Yes, exactly. First in of the race is driven by Jazlin Jali, which is he has a very good pace. So and then he maintained do a couple of overtakes, which makes us able to get the position of P12. But after a couple of stints after that, a few drivers, including me, experienced some of real snap, which is we lost a little bit of time during the race. We take it as our learning curve. So P13 is good for us.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. There we got a comment there from Pico, aka Ipin. JJ, smooth operator.
Yeah, smooth operator.
Guys, top split, and top 20, not bad, I guess. Really, congrats.
Yeah.
At first we did not realize that we are in the top split, so no wonder those guys are very fast.
Yeah. Pico also adds that Ipin also adds that congrats team, congrats all team A and team B drivers. Woohoo! Mamma mia!
Congrats also Tai Chi and Wicked Low. They finished P14 under split.
So that's three teams that were started in SRE, all in the top 20. Absolutely fantastic.
Malaysia represent.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So the only thing left is just try and see where, I don't know if anybody's got news on Simar's position, if they did in fact finish. Team A 13th position.
Apa nama team Tai Chi dengan Wicked
Sembang apa kan?
Sembang. Oh, okay.
Sembang something
I just say sini team Tai Chi and there are only two drivers
I believe.
I think they only got 2 drivers. I don't know if someone was kind enough to step up and help them out in the night stint, but yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, that's really commendable kalau just 2 drivers.
Yeah. So there we go. Team A P13 in the class in the split. Team Taichi and Sonikazu P14 in their class in split, and Team B P16 in their class in split. So that's fantastic work from everyone out there. Big congratulations from Adrenaline Impact to all of the SRE members who have represented us, the Malaysian sim racing community in Le Mans absolutely perfectly this time round. Great job, guys. And if anybody has any credits left over, I think Taichi and Sonikazu need all the coffee they can get. Calvinda as well, he's done a fantastic job for Team B.
Any news on Sim R team? Did you finish?
Oh, Sim R, yeah.
We'll try and get some news on that. I'll fire up the old mobile phone and see if they can get any news on that. Meanwhile, the congratulations are coming in on the Sim Racing Enthusiast WhatsApp group. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic work from everyone there. For everyone. Big congratulations from Adrenaline Impact to all of the SRE members.
It's been an awesome 24 hours, guys. Although we didn't cover the whole 24.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing experience for us broadcasters also.
Yeah. And Team B P15. Anybody has any credits left over, I think Taichi and
So on
Sonika
behalf
Zoo and
of
all the coffee that
Sim
he
Racing
gets.
Enthusiast Group, we would like to we
Calvindo
would
as well,
like
he's done a fantastic job
to
for Team B.
express our gratitude to Adrenaline
Oh,
Impact
Simar, yeah.
for hosting uh, uh, for hosting and
Get some news
broadcasting
on
the
that, how
24
far
hours
along
Le Mans in
Mm.
iRacing.
your
So thank you
mobile
for
phones, see if
support
they can get any
and
news on that.
thank you so much. There's nothing else to say.
Well, congratulations
You
again
do
on
it. You guys doing
the
a
Sim
very good
Racing
job.
Enthusiast. The only thing I can add is that I believe you guys have actually gained a position. You finished the race in 16th. I think you'll now be classified as 15th because someone has kindly pointed out in the Sim Racing Enthusiast WhatsApp group that All Alone Racing. I believe that All Alone Racing has lived up to his name and have finished the race all
Yeah.
24 hours alone, which is a DQ.
There's a waste. That guy raced alone, but somehow he managed to get a 24 hours drive alone.
They should give him the
That's
trophy,
like
not.
yeah,
Exactly. It's a DQ, but it's really impressive what he's done.
hosting and
And
Yeah.
just now in that last lap, everyone in the server was congratulating him, and everybody said like, "Don't worry, bro. Your effort will be remembered forever." But
Oh,
yeah,
definitely. And I believe he was even leading at some points.
yeah, and he got punted, I think, and he had to pit. So, but before that, everything was going smoothly, and I think our server had like very little incidents. So the fact that there were no LMP cars really helped with that also, I think.
Yeah. That just about saved it. Perhaps that also saved All Alone Racing. So if you have any change left over from buying Sonic Kazoo and Taichi some coffee, perhaps the next guy that you have to buy, or perhaps the first guy you should buy coffee for, is that guy in All Alone Racing.
Yeah, respect. Much
Ipin's
respect.
Ipin's comment down there. I've hit Farian. Are you crying? Oh my god, I think I'm crying. Oh my god, Jar, freaking crying.
we can't believe we finished P3 in top split.
That's great job, and looking forward to the next endurance event. I have a feeling we'll probably be entering more cars. There'll be more drivers raring and willing to get into it for the next one. I believe the next one, forgive me if I'm wrong, the next one in July will be Spa, or have I got that wrong? I haven't got my...
correct.
Yeah.
Spa 24 hours.
So
all GT3 cars.
So hopefully, there won't be any lunatic LMP cars trying to commit harakiri on you.
Yes, those fastest car like LMP giving us a little bit of headache when they are trying to overtake in the corner.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the GT3 cars, I mean, there's some quite easy to drive cars out there. So any of you guys, members of the SRE team, this time around we'll be able to plan and really focus on that next race. So here's hoping for a better result in Belgium.
Yeah, I think we could actually all just stay with the current team and maybe properly plan next time. We can do better. This time we didn't even have any schedule, but we just winged it, but it worked. So I think with a little bit of planning, we should be able to try for top 10 lah, at least. That's a realistic goal.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Doing a great job, as I know.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Thanks.
guys. In terms of ratings, we're quite new to iRacing. So, what did you achieve from this event?
Safety rating memang maxed out lah. Terus 4.99
Fantastic.
Yeah, but like the I rating tak naik banyak sangat, only 8 I think. So not much.
Oh, I just realized that I promoted to B class.
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations.
That's good.
I was kind of hoping everyone else would find
Like Zaino said that the safety rating is really bump up after the 24 hours